letters in Revelation, he talks a lot about sin. Sin is when we miss the mark. We all sin, and I guess he talks about it a lot because he knows that it's going to keep us from close fellowship with him. And it's going to keep us from experiencing the abundant life promises that we find in Scripture. Well, in this session, I want to talk to you particularly about pet sins. Pet sins are the sins that we purposefully keep around. They're the ones we do over and over. They're the ones we know they're wrong, but we just kind of dote on them and enjoy them and nurture them. Pet sins make me think of our West Highland Terrier, Wallace. When Wallace was a puppy, he missed the mark often. And there's several ways in which Wallace is just like our pet sins. Like Wallace, our pet sins are adorable. Aren't puppies and kittens just so adorable? I mean, it's so much fun to watch them play. I think of Wallace when he was little. He'd perk up his little ears and the way he'd run to greet you. Well, sin is inviting like that as well. We're just drawn to our pet sins. Our flesh yearns for them, so we nurture them, we dote on them, we feed them. And initially they start out and they're so much fun. Like those savory words of gossip or that dangerous flirting that just starts out as just a little fun. But if we're not careful, one day they demand from us so much more than we thought we would have to pay. They're like a milkshake that we have to drink all the way down, and it starts out as sweet and delicious, but God says that we have to drink all of the consequences, and by the end it tastes like castor oil and jalapenos and liver all mixed together, and we're choking on the consequences. Here's another comparison between Wallace and our pet sins. Like Wallace, our pet sins seem small. Wallace was only 3 pounds when we brought him home, and we were afraid that we were going to step on him and break him. But it wasn't long until he was a ball of muscular energy, bounding from couch to bed. He thought he was super dog, and he was fearless. He was bold. Our pet sins can seem small too. We give them soft names like they were just a mistake or I have a complex. These are the sins that we can hide from people easily, and we don't mind asking people to pray about these sins over and over. They remind me of my weeds in my flower garden. Initially, I pull the big ones. They're easy to see, and I think I've got the weeds, but then I look closer and there's these medium-sized weeds, so I go after them. And then finally, once I get them out, I see these tiny little weeds. They're everywhere. They're small, but they're going to grow, and they're going to do just as much damage as the big weeds in time. Our pet sins seem adorable at first, until we're forced to face the consequences. They seem small, and it's easy to underestimate the damage they can do. But the time comes when, just like Wallace, our pet sins need to be tamed. There's a time when we must determine who is boss. A cute little puppy needs to be domesticated, reined in, disciplined, and so does our sin. Jesus wrote these letters to the 7 churches to help them overcome the big sins and the little ones. So you see a lot about sin in these letters, but you've got to remember that Jesus wrote them out of love for all of us. He knows that these sins will wreak havoc in our lives. So as you work your way through the lessons, ask God to help you identify those pet sins and ask Him to help you eliminate those sins from your life. Like runaway weeds and naughty dogs, they are exasperating. So get serious about your sin, even the little ones, because your life is important and what you do